It occurred to me today, one of the motivators of what I do, one of my main functions, the thing that gets me going, the thing that is the bottom line, is when something is just not fair, when people aren't treated right. And I understand there's a certain degree where that happens, but it's the stuff where people are rude, or people are mean, or people are unfair, or people are taken advantage of. People are told they can't speak and they can't think. And if there's this disparate amount of attention, you can say something, but you can't. It drives me nuts. It's the thing that motivates me probably more than anything. So, my friends, before we begin, let me welcome you. Let me ask you, the first person to verify that I'm coming across loud and clear, as we always say, 5 by 5, because there's always this chance of some switch being thrown off, and just want to make sure that I am being heard. Thank you so much. Clark's the first one. So, my friend, let's get ready. Make sure you are subscribed to Lionel Nation. We had a wonderful midday today of Lionel Legal. The Diddy case is bigger than anything you can imagine. It gets better and better and better and better and better. And nobody is really remotely getting into how deep it is. We'll talk about that. The disaster that was Oprah and Gala, the disaster. And also the negative effect of Taylor Swift. Her endorsement didn't pan out the way they think. We are being fed a line, oh, you know what, from the people out there who say that we're wrong, we're out of it. No, we're not. We know exactly what's going on. So before we take off, before we move on, let me please remind you of something very, very important, a very, very special message from a very, very special sponsor. Have you ever wondered what happened to the legendary Chuck Norris? I recently saw a video he made, and he's in his 80s, and he still looks tremendous. He's working out, staying active. What's even more shocking is that he says he's stronger, he can work out longer, and even has plenty of energy left over for his grandkids. And he did this by making just one change. And he says he still feels like he's in his 50s. His wife even started doing this one thing also, and she's never felt better. She says she feels 10 years younger. She says her body looks leaner, and she has energy all day. Chuck made a special video that explains everything. And make sure you watch it by going to chuckdefense.com/Lionel or by clicking on the link below in this video in the description section. It will change the way you think about your health. Once again, that's chuckdefense.com/Lionel, and click the link in the description section to watch the video now. You won't believe how simple it is. Just a reminder, the legendary Chuck Norris is 84 years old, and yet today has more energy than you can imagine. He discovered he could create dramatic changes to his health simply focusing on 3 things that sabotage our body as we age. So watch this method by clicking the link in the description box below, chuckdefense.com/Lionel. Now, my friend, let me start off with this and just explain to you one of the greatest stories of all time. And as a lawyer or a trial lawyer or a prosecutor, I look at this case, I look at it kind of differently than most people. And I always ask myself, what would I do if somebody said, you can represent Diddy? Represent him to see what you can do. And as I've told you before, my only hesitation would be specifically that I would never be any part of or be a part of any kind of cross-examining of victims who really were hurt. Liars, no problem. No problem. Because there are liars in every lying. There are some who are cops or some or people who exaggerate. And short of that, everybody's entitled to a case. I don't know if his lawyer is handling the same way, because you don't want to antagonize. You don't want to do anything, because there has to be a perfect blend, a melding of what is melding Marcos, what's happening on TV and in the press and reality. if you can kind of make it look like Diddy is just, you don't want there to be this, because believe it or not, even at the federal level, if people get this feeling of, oh, come on, let him go. Let him go. If two people committed the same offense, Mr. Rogers or Diddy, you would have different reactions because people like Mr. Rogers and don't like this guy. It's fascinating. How do you represent the mob? I remember when James LaRosa and others says, there's no organized crime, there's no mafia. I said, what are you saying? Why are you even going there? Why are you going there? What is the thing that you say? What am I learning? What am I gaining by walking and talking to somebody from Channel 4 who's sticking a mic? What am I doing other than making me my name? I say nothing. Absolutely nothing. Very respectfully decline. Be able to learn more about this. We have a lot to learn and investigate. And we'll be filing the appropriate motions, doing whatever in the court, and then that's it. But most probably, there's not a whole big event. What is your defense? What is your defense? And if there's not going to be a plea, if say, okay, look, all right, he'll plead to something. What do you get? Give me something. What do you want him to offer me? Something. I'm not going to offer you anything. Oh, okay. What are we looking at? 150 years? Come on. What do you want? See, these are things you're never, ever going to find out. You're never going to be talking about in real life. What do you want? Is there anybody? Is there already Mr. Big? You want forfeiture of assets? What is it what would make you happy? Pound this guy away, throw him away? Tell me. And they've got to be able to tell you this. Yes, we want him to go away. Okay. It's like they wanted Gotti. John Gotti was one of the greatest examples of somebody who basically said, come on, I dare you. Remember Robert Conrad, knock it off. I dare you, knock it off. Okay. There were other people who just looked like just regular folks who didn't do anything. We have the videos and we have this. And I'm wondering, thank you very much, but why don't you go after the systematic targeting of children, the horrors of children, what children go through? Why this? I'm not saying it's not, but Diddy did not go out and snatch unaccompanied minors who were dragooned and kidnapped and brought into this country. These people came to him. Now, that doesn't give him carte blanche to do anything, but understand what we're talking about. See, there's one thing about going back, and I'm going to be using a lot of mafia. By the way, nobody ever calls it the mafia in this country, but just for purposes of our shortcut. The thing that people have to understand is that, ladies and gentlemen, you as a citizen would only know there's a mafia if maybe you could remove the pricing, the differential in concrete or carting, but you don't know they're there. They don't break into your house. They don't do anything. You don't know they're there. Everything they do is among each other. They don't bother anybody. They're not a crime wave. They don't bother you. I guarantee you one thing, ladies and gentlemen, you'd want to live next door. If you live next door to John Gotti, you don't have to lock your door. That's the God's honest truth. You don't have to lock the door. Nobody did. He never bothered anybody. Now, if you don't involve yourself in that life, and believe me, they don't go out looking for you. You have to seek their permission. There was a time when they didn't. Okay, so the point is, you start to get this idea and you create this theme. We're not talking about Tren de Aragua, these Venezuelan criminals who take over, hotels and apartment complexes. They go after innocent people. The mob doesn't do that. If anything, the mob will help you. And believe it or not, during the time when Sicily in particular was being overrun by folks from all over the world, from Ethiopia and Believe it or not, it was. I'm telling you right now, it was the. How do I say this? Oh dear God, it was the. Jesus God, the mob, the mafia. Then who would have been responsible? Whatever. Okay, fine. Now let me explain something too. And this is the most important time for everything. When you have somebody who is responsible, who is involved in something of this nature, you have to ask yourself the question, what is it that this is really all about? Who are these people? Why is it that we just don't like? Why don't people like him? What's the real story? Is it a racial thing? Is because he comes across thuggish, or what is it? And I hate to keep using that term, but it's a term that, well, I bring to your attention. What is it? What is it that what is it? What drives people the craziest about it? And that's something which I want to talk about as well. The fact that they're looking at him differently is what I find fascinating. I saw a clip yesterday of Tren de Aragua in Arizona went to a truck stop and charged truckers $50 to park. It's unbelievable. You have to ask yourself, where is the priority? Where is the priority? Where is it? Where does this work? How does this work? Where does any of this even, how do you say this? How does this happen? Okay. So that's that. Next, Harvey Weinstein. How do they turn their back on the people that are, for lack of a better word, for people who are for years loyal to the Democrats, loyal to everybody? How do they work? They don't even handle their own. They could have looked the other way. They're piling it on Harvey. They could back off. Give him one or two cases. That's it. But you wonder, what is it? How does this? It's the most fantastic. It's one of the most fascinating issues to me there is. And how do people allow themselves? How do people allow themselves to be put in the position? This sounds crazy. To be put in the position where they're being recorded. If the story is true about Robert Kennedy Jr. and this Nutzi or whatever her name is, if it's true, how do people do this? There was a guy. These are my whole thing tonight is I'm thinking, how would I do it? Why do people? Whatever happened to smart criminals? There was a guy. I'm not going to mention his name, but he was kind of a big shot. He was a big, whatever. And he had a big money deal. And he was at a big place. And he basically is sending pictures of himself, as you can imagine, to some woman. Why? There's another one there who is making more money, who decides he's going to hit on some producer type, whatever. Why? Do you not know? What do you not know about this? There's this impunity. There's this thing. I don't understand it. If I'm walking in, if I am sitting here, I don't care who, whatever you want to do. And assuming these freak offs, the cameras were hidden, but I don't think they were. First of all, why am I even involved in this? I've got 3-day orgies going on where women are some of them are being sent to a hospital. I'm thinking, what is happening here? How does this work? How stupid are these people? It's just like the guy I told you. He sent pictures. You sent a picture of yourself. Why? Why? What are you doing? And it wasn't in the case of like Anthony Weiner, technically they didn't know who each other were. Again, I don't understand the whole thing. It's almost like flash terrorism. You send a picture, you go, huh? I wonder what you're thinking now. Okay, hasn't responded back. Oh, it's a text. Ooh, a smile. What is this? First of all, if you're going to ruin your life, have somebody there, have some flesh, be able to pick them out of a lineup. I don't understand it. When I say I don't understand it, I know what happens. I understand that there have been people who, like the whole thing, there was a time when people used to flash. Remember flashers? I bet you some of you ladies from your time. I know two cases of flashers. One was at the kind of a friend of a friend was at a mall, and this guy says, "Excuse me, can you?" Yeah, and he walks over, and this guy is, whatever, not really flashing, not the trench coat thing, but he's doing whatever to himself. And another one was somebody we found out recently. It's like, well, when they were a kid, we don't have that anymore. You don't see this. Hey, you don't see that. We don't have obscene phone calls anymore either because of, caller ID. Crypto says blackmailed each other deeper into the pit of depravity. That could be it. Very well. I mean, this is where we are today. But you see what I'm saying? We're living in a different world. I have to understand. See, I like old fashioned crime when you could say, "What'd you do?" "I robbed the bank. I robbed the liquor store." I got it. I understand it. I got it. I understand it. I understand it. Hello. I understand this. Yes. Thank you. I understand it. This is easy. This is easy. Things I like. I can kind of understand, not understand, but I'm saying, oh, okay, targeted offenses, I got it. Terrible things people do, I got it. But I am a rapper. I'm worth whatever it is. And I live in a world where I have security details and I know how predatory everything is. I'm with a bunch of people with fourth grade educations and can't speak, and they're going to want to bring me down, and you want me to show up to a place with other people. And there's other photos, video photos, listen to me, of Diddy with little kids. There's stuff with him. And you see him on the couch with Mike Tyson. Now, I don't know how much of this is AI. Sometimes I think, I don't know about that. I can't tell if this is really AI. I've reposted something, I take it down. I don't know what, I can't tell. I can't tell, which is great, by the way, because one day, if they do catch you in something, they're going to say, you're going to be able to say, "Oh, that's not me." "What do you mean?" "That's not me. That's AI." How would AI know my phone number? It works to an extent. But one day when you have actual pictures of stuff, you're not going to believe anything. You're not going to believe anything. The Zapruder film, nothing. You are going to, a picture's worth 1,000 words is going to be completely destroyed by the notion of AI. You know that, right? It's happening. It's completely happening. One of these things that's so obvious. Howie Brown, by the way, gifted 10 Lionel Nation memberships. Thank you, Howie. You're a good man, Mr. Brown. So anyway, there's pictures of him with kids and people he adopted, and the depravity just went on, and he's recording this, and it's the deluge is going to hit, and the people in the business are going to be saying, "We've told you about this guy, but you didn't listen until now." And then you can say, "Oh my God, wait till you see this." And that they're not even charging him with that. They're not charging him with any of this stuff. Crypto says the conspiratorium is why I came to your channel. Indeed. And there is something to be said for that. Now, let's put that over here for a minute. And thank you, Crypt. That's one thing. Number two, in the Mrs. Al and I are always saying to each other, "I don't understand. I don't understand." Let's talk about this disaster that was Gala with Oprah. First, somebody somewhere has got to, if somebody were to hire me Again, I always put myself in the position. If they hire me, where is it? Where is it? How, what is the best way for me to accomplish this? Number one, what do you want from me? You're gonna hire me. I'm the director. What do you want? Tell me what you want. I want votes for Gala. Is that what you want? Or do you want to just put on a show that nobody cares about? What do you want? What is your goal? Tell me what your goal is. My goal is to have votes. Okay. So you want her to win votes. Great. Is she going to say anything? What do you mean? Well, I've been watching her lately and she doesn't seem to know how to say anything. Is she going to say something? Well, of course she's going to say something. Okay, good. Who are you thinking of having as the guest of honor or whatever it is? Who is this person? Who? Tell me. Who? Oprah. Can you tell me who in their right mind would pick Oprah? People hate Oprah. There are people who know there's something wrong with her. Nobody likes Oprah. Oprah, you can do all the whatever the ratings are. She's the worst. We can't stand Oprah. Do you hear what I'm saying? Nobody wants Oprah. Who else are you going to have? Well, we're going to have this setup. And we're going to go to a Zoom with Chris Rock. Who is that woman from Diana Ross's daughter? Tracy Ross Ellis. Who the? Now I know who she is. She's got interesting eyes. Blackish. Again, who is she? Who is she, ladies and gentlemen? Who is she? Somebody can say, damn it, Tracy Ross Ellis, I'm voting for her. If all of a sudden, let me ask you something. Think of a star today. How do you think of one who, if they came out and said, listen, I'm voting for her, where people would say, you know what? I might consider this now. Can you think of anybody? Is there anybody out there? I'm asking you too. Is there one person whose name is so big? I think Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is bigger than anybody really realizes. Maybe from, what about the black community? The black, maybe yeah, I think Joe is probably more likely Democrat. But can you think of anybody? This is the most important part. Can you believe I don't know if that works. I do not know of what I don't think so. Donald Trump's going to endorse himself. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I guess so. Oprah has become an elitist billionaire. No, she hasn't, Dennis. I don't believe that for a moment. She's got a lot of money. A billionaire from what? From what? What does she produce? What? Billionaire from what? Investments? The Oprah Winfrey Show? What? No. Crypto says Trump could donate $1 million and I would not vote for her. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to vote for her, but the thing I'm saying is, understand what I'm saying. The notion of celebrity endorsements don't work. They don't work. It's over. Now, if you had, for example, like swaths, if you had nuns, like just 1,000 nuns, or you see that Penn State where kids or maybe military, I don't think they could do it with a uniform, maybe a group. But let us start with this. Ladies and gentlemen, it's just like when you're doing a jury trial. What am I trying? Where's my case? How do I prove this? Or what's my defense? So the notion of this right off the bat, I'm saying, What are you doing? Why do you want to have this? You're doing like a telethon. You're doing Jerry Lewis. You're doing an old hackneyed thing. I'm always, and maybe I do this, though I don't think so. See, I've gotten the most trouble in my career, so to speak, because whenever I've done things completely differently. I've always made fun of it. They didn't like what I was doing. It's true. It's honestly, always made fun of it. I always made fun of of things, and they never, people didn't like that. But I always recognize what it is and why it is important. And I think I understand this. And when I'm trying to get the idea of something, I would say, first of all, you're going to have this stupid thing where Bryan Cranston's going to be on a Zoom call. And of course, they never look in the camera. They're always like, "Hey, how are you?" So, what are you looking at? He's a cameraman. It's always awful. It's a terrible fuck. There's Julia Roberts, and she does it. I don't understand why you're. First of all, what are you doing? Chris Rock? Chris Rock? What? No. First of all, Chris, why? What about your career? Why are you doing this? No, I wouldn't do this. I honest to God wouldn't do this. I would, if possible, I would have her deprogrammed. I would have her trained. I would have some of Hollywood's best. I would have a sound stage. We would have scenes. I would have directors. I would have acting coaches. I swear to God. I would, and this would have been 3.5 years ago. I would say, I want you to look at this. And I want you to look at people. I want you to look at countenance, style, the way you stand, the way you act, what are you trying to do? People still respect. Let me tell you something. There was a guy one time who gave a speech. He was like a Navy SEAL admiral, and he says, "The best thing you can do is to make your bed. Making your bed is the most important thing in the world. You're gonna." Well, this guy's talking about making your bed, but you know what? It worked because of who he was. I know it sounds crazy, but his look. People who didn't care about the military said, "Wow, this guy's got it." Some people have it. I've seen people on Broadway stages. I swear to God, there'll be a crowd shot. They're walking, and one person stands out. You don't say, "What are they doing?" I don't know. There's a thing. There's something. There's a connection. I don't know what it is. There are people who have it that I don't see it. I don't see anything, very frankly, I don't see anything about Trump that just wows me. But when I see people react to him, it's like, well, I stand corrected. Let me tell you something. Pound for pound, if you want to put somebody who can really do it and really bring it, Barack Obama is one of the best actors you've ever seen. He knows how to play it. But I just don't believe anything he's saying. But he's good at that. He's good at that. He really can do it. The best is Reagan. The best ever was Reagan. Now, the first thing I'm going to sit down with her is I'm going to tell her, look, you're not these people. You're not Maggie Thatcher. You're not Jean Kirkpatrick. You're not Indira Gandhi. You're not Phyllis Schlafly. You're not Shirley Chisholm. You're not Ella Fitzgerald. You're not any of these people. You are who you are. And this is the hardest thing in the world. Believe me when I tell you this. If you can figure out how to be yourself and work around who you are, I see it on podcasting all the time. All the time. People, they're not themselves. They're putting on a role. And no matter what it is, if I told you, look at Lex Friedman, this guy is himself. Lex Friedman couldn't get a job anywhere. He looks like he's dead. Like he's on like some flat affect spectrum kind of thing. I'm sorry to use that term, but that's what people say. I don't know. Maybe he is. He's the best show in the world. You know why? He's himself. That's the way he is. And you like it because it's authentic and you can read it. I would figure out a way to get Kamala, and I'm going to sit down and say, okay, we're going to work on this. Now, do you know why you want to run for president? Okay, good. We're going to write something for you. Writers, write me something. Write me something. And the first thing in the world you want to know is, remember this. Let me ask you something. I want you to imagine you walk into a doctor and you or your child or whatever, you really are in need of the best doctor there is for your particular problem. Okay. Your particular problem. Best doc. You need the best doctor. And this doctor comes in to start saying, when I was a young man, I'm a son of a middle class family and I work my way. He says, excuse me, I don't care about that. That's exactly what she's doing. You want to see, what are you going to do? How are you going to fix this? How are you going to fix this? There's nothing better than somebody who says, oh, I know how to fix this. I know what it is. I know what it is. I had something recently with a guy who was like an auto mechanic, sort of a thing. This guy was so good. Whatever he said, I'd believe him. He just knew this. He wasn't the nicest guy in the world, but by God, when he talked about whatever the hell it was, he knew what he was talking about. So the very first thing we're going to bone up on, sorry about that phrase, Gamala, we're going to bone up is on facts. We're not going to hear any more stories about where you're from. Nobody gives a shit about where you're from. Sorry. Don't know how to say it other than that. Sorry. Just don't. Nobody cares. But we're going to have 5 categories ultimately. Start off with 3 and then maybe work to 5. And we're going to work on, the first one is going to be called economy. The economy is number 1. What we care about, inflation. Why do things cost more? This pen used to be $1.50 and now it costs $3. Why is that? What is it? What, they run out of pen material? People love to hear that. Why is it? Why? When they say eggs are worth more, what? There's no more eggs? Whether chickens or oil? We run out of oil? No, it's a commodity. It's called inflation. And inflation is there's too much money out there. That's it. Simple. Want to play Monopoly? Give people $10 for every dollar. And it doesn't matter. You're affecting the ultimate cost of everything. It's called inflation. Crypto says, do you think that they are fabricating human trafficking like Springfield, Ohio to make her a Margaret Thatcher? Fabricating human trafficking? No. Oh, like, I don't know what that means. I don't think they're fabricating I don't think they're doing anything. I don't think they have any plan whatsoever. All I know is with these people, Crypto, and thank you, whenever they get upset about something, it's true. She's got to figure out a way to talk about the economy. Very, very simple. Most people do not understand what inflation means. You don't, the Laffer curve, and all, they don't know what the hell you're talking about. They don't want to talk about the Fed and quantitative easing. They don't want to hear anything about that. Why does this cost more? 4 years ago, it cost this, and now it costs this. Why? Why do you think that is? And the best thing is when you concede something. What? Do you think in 4 years, all of a sudden bacon became scarce? It's not about scarcity. That's not it. We have all the bacon in the world. That's not it. It's about inflation. That's what it's about. And right off the bat, and I don't care who you are, Democrat or Republican, we got to fix inflation. And that is about the money. The money. Crypto says the jobs in Springfield are half the work rate. Could be. Could very well be. When you think Springfield, I'm thinking people think cats. And let them think that. Okay? That's number 1. Let people know she knows something about the economy. Let people know she at least can say something about it. Not where she was from and her mother's Asian. What are you going to do? That was 1. Let's give her another fact. Start off with this line. Second line is this. Here's what we're going to do. With the who's responsible? It's the money. Now, she's going to have to basically abandon basic democratic money. And it goes on. Crime. What about crime? Now, I'm sorry, Mrs. Harris or Ms. Harris, but I can't help you if you don't say you want to lock these bastards up. Sorry. You're going to do that one? Because if you're not going to do it, we're going to move on. You got what I'm saying? If you're not going to fix this, we're going to move on. We're going to move on to something else. You want to talk about crime? I got the answer for you. I know what's going to work, and they're going to love you for it. But you're going to have to concede that you're going to lock people up and that there's a problem in here. And the problem is that people don't care. We've got criminals who are... If you turn your back, if all of a sudden you said, watch what happens. If you said, for 1 week, we are not going to enforce the speed limit, what do you think would happen? What do you think would happen? Will people slow down? You know, I have this thing on the phone that Waze, Google, you might not have Google Maps or GPS. It's that Waze thing. And I don't know about you, but every 5 minutes they go speed trap, speed light, speed. I'm like slow. I'm slow. It's on this. And I'm thinking to myself, how do I really know they have a speed thing? Maybe they just have a deal with Google or Waze that makes it seem like we've got speed, whatever the hell it is. But that's that. So what people, if there's no sense of right or wrong, are going to break into your house. There are people who are ready to go. And they're not people you know. And the only thing to do is to scare the hell out of them. And that's it. She can do this if she wants. But she doesn't want to do that. I don't think it's because she can't. She doesn't want to do that. Somebody is telling her. Instead, they said, let's put Tracy Ross Ellis, Julia Roberts, Bryan Cranston, and Meryl Streep to be watching from home on their whatever. I don't even know what the hell that is. Well, let's get some hackneyed, bilious, overrated whatever, Oprah, who is honest to God thinks she's better than anything anybody's ever seen. It was a disaster. Oprah, did you see where Oprah had to say, would you answer the question? Would you answer the question? Would you answer the question? We're going to win this thing. But the problem is, again, I hope we don't have a problem with the votes and the ballots. That still scares the living you-know-what out of me. The ballots. And nobody wants to talk about that. They're talking about all this other kind of jazz, which is a whole nother story, which I find exceedingly frightening. Now, my friend, a couple of things I want to remind you. We have a great and glorious, brother, remember, it's 45 days until the election. 45 days. I want you to go right now to this is important. I remember when I first started talking about emergency food, people said, oh, prepping, my favorite, preparewithlionel.com. That's it, preparewithlionel.com. Preparewithlionel.com. Right now, there's a deal where you get 4-week emergency food kit. You can save $50. It to me was I'll never forget this. They said, are you a prepper? I'm saying, you damn right. What do you mean prepper? Or are you one of these crazy people that said, worrying about emergency food? Yeah, I am. Yeah. What are you talking about? They actually said this. There are people out there who think for some reason it's nutty. It's crazy. That it's nuts. So here's the link, preparewithlionel.com. That's it right there. 25-year shelf life. There it is. It's absolutely perfect. It makes the most sense. There's nothing to sell. It's in a beautiful modular bucket. You stack it up, you put it in your garage, and you're set for 25 years. If anything goes wrong, the best thing is you can say, well, 25 years went by, we didn't need it. Then you can open it up and still love it. The food's terrific, and that's great. But it's a no-brainer. People will buy stuff that makes no sense whatsoever, but not emergency food because they think somehow that's not going to happen to us. No. I don't get it. I don't understand it. So it's preparewithlionel.com. And second is this beautiful punum, Mike Lindell. I know people don't talk. I hear other shows talk about it. They don't really sell the Mike part. The pillows are great. I understand that. But what this man has been through, he's like one of my heroes because he doesn't stop. And the more they come and say, he's crazy. I love him. And the pillows are great. We are a MyPillow family. And all you got to do is go to mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. That's it, and you're set. mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. That's it. There's nothing to it. Am I going to explain to you why you want a pillow? Why you want towels? I think you know that. I've always wanted to say, why are you selling me on towels? I understand it. They're the best. They're the best price. They're American made, and they're delivered, and it's for a good guy and a good cause, and it's a great statement. That's it. There's no other way around it. Okay. I was perusing. I hope you're also following me on Twitter at Lionel Media, because today I did a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. In New York, our own mayor, we have the, do you hear the latest one? The woman who is the director of New York's asylum seeking office, she's being subpoenaed to the Fed. There is a Brooklyn church that's under investigation. They're out of control. Out of control. That's number one. Next, if you go to my Lionel Media Twitter or X, there's a great picture of a great video of our good friend, Tulsi Gabbard, who I was not at first a huge fan of, but now I think she is just tremendous. The videos, the memes, you must see this. Next, did you see Jill Biden heading a cabinet meeting? Who saw this today? Who saw Jill Biden? They haven't had a meeting in 11 months, almost a year. Jill Biden, they got Austin, you got all these people, and she's running the show. It's on. Yes. Yes, I know. Joe was standing there. He was there like trying to read something. He's out of his tree, out of his gourd, out of his gourd. He's unbelievable. That is all I say. It is unbelievable. Then, looking through more of this, there's a piece of, you've got to hear Julia Roberts. You don't realize how stupid these people are until you realize. So she's sitting there wearing the aviator glasses with Oprah, and you realize, my God, they don't know anything. Next, the great Cat Williams. Cat Williams is what he said, it's incredible. There's also a video coming on, I think it was a Marvin Wayans show, where Mike Tyson tells Diddy, get your hand off me. Then there's another one. Look at the picture of Oprah with Bill Cosby, Oprah with Russell Simmons, Oprah with Harvey Weinstein, Oprah with Diddy. She's got everybody there, and she knows exactly what she's doing. Do you understand what I'm saying? She understands exactly. Then my favorite, Congressman Hank Johnson, ladies and gentlemen, the one who was afraid that, where was it, Guam or something would tip over? It was wonderful. And there's a woman they have at Fox. I like her, honey. I saw her. This is a woman who walks down the halls with a microphone, just bothering people. He says, you think that Trump is a threat to democracy? Why is he a threat to democracy? Well, because he's a threat to democracy. No, I know you said that. But what exactly makes him a threat to democracy? What is it? She can't answer the question. That's on this. I'm telling you right now. I put together and collate some of the best stuff for you, which I actively endorse that you do. Next, did you see this guy who has the robot SWAT machine? Did you see this? If this doesn't look phony, but it's up there, please go to Lionel Media. There it is. And it's a machine. It's a robot. And the guy's trying to shoot it, nothing works. They throw a blanket on top. So this thing sticks in a nozzle into this apartment, pumps it full of gas, and then runs over him to pin him down. It's the most fantastic thing you've ever seen. Then all the pictures that are surfacing of Barack Obama and old Diddy. Unbelievable. It's the most incredible show there is. Then I did a little bit of a kind of a tribute to a guy named Patrick Ben David or something, or Valuetainment. The man says absolutely nothing. with a certitude I have never seen. He says it with an absolute sense of, I don't know what the word is, but he says absolutely nothing. He's wonderful. Then the beginning part, there is a Diddy and a Fitty and Diddy. And this goes back, and also Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez is doing everything in her power to get your eyes off of what's happening. That's why she's hitting you with this business about Ben Affleck that nobody cares about. You can also see Jill running the show. It's just incredible. It's just incredible. How about this? There is the COVID czar of New York under de Blasio. While we suffered in quarantine, he was going to sex clubs and taking Molly and doing all this other kind of stuff. Oh, yeah. It's just, you can't believe. And then my favorite, I mentioned this morning, Eric Michael Tyson or Dyson, whatever the hell his name is. He is giving Nancy Mace more grief about the fact that she dared to utter the name Kamala incorrectly, and that she was somehow a racist, and that he was just excoriating her. Then, lo and behold, out of nowhere, this is interesting. Then, I found this fascinating. Then they have her, or him rather, saying something to the effect of, texting her, hey, can you send me some pictures? We're great together, and basically hitting on her in a text. And she introduces screenshots of it in Congress. It's just the most incredible thing in the world. We live in a world of complete and total insanity, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely insanity. So keep very, very close attention to what's happening to that Diddy dude, okay? Trust me when I tell you that. All right? Okay. Also, thank you, Les. Please follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors, Crypto Domini, you the man today, my friend, as well as Howie Brown. Thank you for your kindness, your contributions, and your beauteousness, and the like. Okay? So the good news is we are going to win this thing. Believe me when I tell you that. All right? All right. Okay, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. Don't forget to follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. And until we meet again tomorrow at 8 a.m., remember these final words. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da, da.